Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And today we're going to be touching base on an election that not a lot of people are talking about, but it is very important and very consequential. I think the main reason why it's not being talked about that much is because it's taking place in a very far away land that most of you guys probably have never been to, that is somehow a US state called Alaska. I have been to Alaska before. Quite some time ago, probably around 5 years ago or so. I've been up there, but a lot of people keep forgetting Alaska exists. So guess what? I'm going to be the one to talk about it. And Lisa Murkowski is one of their senators who is the worst Republican in the U.S. Senate by far, if you look at her record. And she is in a four-way race with another Republican who is unabashedly America first. And the polls have it very close. And we have to discuss it because this is a de facto flip for Republicans. If they can get rid of Lisa Murkowski, who cares if she has an R next to her name? She's not a Republican. She's not a conservative. She's a textbook rhino. Like, people will complain and say, hey, you call establishment Republicans that vote with Trump 90% of the time plus rhinos. And it's like, they are establishment Republicans on the important issues. They suck on them. They're weak. We get that. But Lisa Murkowski fits every single definition of the term rhino possible, and we're going to discuss why in this video. We're going to go over her garbage record, and we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into it, and also why this poll that still has her up by 4 is actually underestimating Tshibaka. So keep that in mind, but first I have to tell you guys about redeaglepolitics.com. Make sure you sign up for the website if you haven't yet. It's just $5 a month at 16 cents a day. That's one coffee per month, and you get all these exclusive perks and benefits. I have all these videos. We did a video talking about Boris Johnson yesterday. We did a video last week talking about Nate Plastic's garbage forecast, debunking the election mafia yet again. You also can join the Discord server as well and talk with like-minded individuals, and make sure you check out the merchandise tab at shop.redeaglepolitics.com. You can get access to all these exclusive designs on shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, posters, sweatshirts, tank tops, etc. You got the Red Wave shirt to celebrate the Red Wave. Why not get it now while supplies still last at redeaglepolitics.com. And the links for those are going to be in the pinned comment. But beyond that point, we have to dive into this. Lisa Murkowski is awful, the worst Republican in the Senate by far. It is not even a contest. It is not even close. Well, Susan Collins is sort of up there as well, and Romney is too. Romney is bad for other reasons. But in terms of the core issues, there is nobody that is worse than Lisa Murkowski wholeheartedly. And Susan Collins is really bad on a lot of issues, and we know that, but she also represents a state that voted for Biden by 9 points. It's also a state that voted for Obama by like 30. And then you have Lisa Murkowski, who is in a state that voted for Trump over Hillary Clinton by 17 points, and it voted for Trump over Biden by, I believe, around 11 or so. And it's probably going to vote for Trump a lot more this time, assuming it's Trump v. Biden or whoever in 24, because Alaska is a state that does not like incumbents very much. That's why Trump dipped a little bit. They're very libertarian-leaning in many regards, I would say, and a paleo-libertarian candidate would do very well. Like, you know, you put up like, I don't know, like a Ron Paul. If Ron Paul was the nominee, he'd win Alaska big, and New Hampshire, by the way. But Alaska and New Hampshire, fairly similar, except Alaska tends to vote more Republican. New Hampshire tends to have more liberal people on social issues. They vote more Democrat on average, but the values are still similar. But Lisa Murkowski, her values, these are her values. She voted with Obama 73+% of the time, and that was for his 8-year tenure. And with Donald Trump in there, she only voted for Trump 72% of the time. That is less than the amount of the time that she voted with Obama. And again, a lot of that legislation that she voted for Trump, that was mainly remedial legislation. The only major bill that was passed, I believe, that she voted for, that Trump signed, was the tax cut bill. But other than that, she's been awful on a lot of issues. And she voted with Biden. She's so far more than she voted with Trump, and it's not even close. She is more aligned with the Dem presidents then she is aligned with the Republican presidents, which says a lot because that was back when Democrats, back in the Obama days, for most of the time, Democrats held the Senate. Republicans don't hold the Senate under the Biden administration. She's siding with the Dems, and she can't even fall in line with her own party when they are in power in the Senate. And you can use the Trump era for an example. She is unabashedly pro-abortion. She supports the Roe v. Wade decision. She's anti-overturning Roe. Roe did get overturned. We love to see it, but she is unabashedly pro-abortion. She supported the recent gun control legislation. And again, this list is just the tip of the iceberg. It goes far deeper in regards to Lisa Murkowski and all the little comments that she's made over the years. She is a never Trumper. We know that. She voted for virtually all of Biden's appointees, whether they're judicial or the cabinet appointees, including Dr. Levine. Yeah, she's awful on the alphabet issue. She didn't used to be back in the 2000s, but she absolutely is now. She voted for Ketanji Brown Jackson, the pedo defender herself. She supports DACA. She supports amnesty. And she called Trump's immigration stances cruel. I mean, easy for her to say. It's not like she's having illegal aliens cross over into Alaska. I mean, I assume they would have to come from Canada or Russia. I don't really think that that's that much of a problem up there. But in regards to us in the lower 48 and people that live in border states, immigration is a big problem. Illegal and legal, not just illegal immigration, but legal immigration, which she probably wants to increase. She's a full-on globalist. And she's out here calling Trump's immigration stances, quote-unquote, cruel. And this is all in a state that voted for Donald Trump by 10-plus points. And I know what people are going to say in regards to Lisa Murkowski. Well, she's well-liked. She survived a write-in campaign in 2010 after she lost a primary because she can build the coalition and win in Alaska. And it's a little bit deeper than that. 2010, we did not have as much of a polarized country as we do now. The anti-establishment energy in the GOP is not exactly where it is now. And the center of gravity within the GOP it was not where it is now. So taking all of this into consideration, you can't exactly compare 2010 to 2022. And there's no telling that ranked choice voting is necessarily going to hurt the effort to get out Lisa Murkowski. This poll right here shows first ballot. Murkowski's only getting 35% support, and she's trying to appease Democrats right now. She's not appeasing the base, and Alaska is still a Republican state. This is a midterm year. The energy factor is on the anti-establishment right. You're going to see high turnout among Republicans. Democrats aren't really going to turn out that much, especially in a place like Alaska. And you look at this and you see Tshibaka is already getting close to 45% first ballot. Second ballot, she cracks 45. And then in the third ballot in this poll, she trails by just 4. But this poll is from Alaska Survey Research, basically a Murkowski internal. And the same poll shows that Sarah Palin is losing to a Democrat. And we know that's not going to happen. We know that. I mean, Palin may be somewhat divisive. We understand. But at the end of the day, she's not going to lose to a Democrat. I mean, worst case is it's a low turnout special. It's within 10, whatever. But that's pretty much all it's going to come down to. This notion that, Sarah Palin is going to lose to Pallotta or Peltola or whatever his or her name is laughable. Basically a no-name candidate that is basically only polling around 40 because they have a D next to their name. That's pretty much it. So this notion that Sarah Palin's going to go down to Peltola is laughable, especially because Bajich is winning by 14 in the same poll. I know that Bajich is more of like a non-divisive name. His family is bipartisan, even though Nick Bajich is not bad on the issues himself. He's not exactly like his father. But still, this is not going to be a race where Palin's going to lose. It doesn't matter how you chalk it up. You could chalk it up however way you want. And if Palin, let's say the poll is underestimating Palin, it's probably underestimating Tshibaka by some margin. Am I saying Tshibaka is going to run away with this? No, I think it's going to be close. But the chance is definitely there, and the energy is on her side, and Trump is going to come up and do a rally for her. Again, Alaska is a state that has been typically ignored by presidents time and time again, And Trump going up there and doing a rally for her definitely shows that Alaska is going to be getting some recognition. She's going to be more of a symbolic leader because of that fact alone. And you look at that and you see, hey, well, that might boost her chances. And I believe it will. I don't know to what extent that it will, but it will boost her chances, especially in this environment. Again, Biden is very unpopular in Alaska if you look at his approval rating in the state. According to Civics, which is the best metric that we have, it's not entirely perfect, but his approval rating there is like 10 to 15 points worse off than it is nationwide. He's only at 28% approval, 63% disapprove. And if you could paint Lisa Murkowski between now and November in the four-way race as an ally and friend of Joe Biden that happens to have an R next to her name, she is going to go down. She will. I'm telling you this. It is very possible. And this is very important because Kelly Tshibaka is very Trumpian on the issue. She gets it a lot. She's also, from Alaska, solid fit for the state, and she's electable there. And will be able to build a coalition there that can defeat Murkowski, in my opinion, which is all great. So you're going to see a massive upgrade in the state of Alaska that you wouldn't ordinarily see. I mean, this is true. You're talking about getting rid of the worst rhino possible. I mean, she did everything she could do to stop Trump during his presidency. We know that. She even voted against the healthcare bill. I mean, John McCain doing his moral grandstanding would not have mattered if you got Kelly Tshibaka in there back in 2016, hypothetically, or basically any other Republican in there in 2016. Trump would have gotten his victory. There would have been a panic because, oh, it's a bad health care bill. That's what they would have said. But actually, it would have gone into effect, and it probably would have been a very positive thing, just like getting rid of net neutrality was a very positive thing, despite the initial panic and uproar and like this, manufactured bipartisanship surrounding the issue. But you look at the fact that when that bill failed, that's when Republicans started to really dip in the generic ballot. They started losing special elections. That was very crucial. If they got a healthcare bill passed under Trump, regardless of what it was, it's pretty much action in general triumphing over anything else. You would have seen that D+8, D+9 national environment probably be cut in half. And Republicans, they would have lost the House in the midterms, yeah, but they probably would have, flipped another Senate seat or two. And on top of that, they probably would have retaken the House in 2020, regardless, based off of the fact they would have had more seats to begin with. So basically, Lisa Murkowski, in that regard, screwed over Republicans even worse than John McCain did. But nobody ever talks about it, basically because she's up in Alaska. It's an afterthought. Not a lot of people care. But furthermore, this is a very crucial election for a multitude of reasons. This is an extra vote. Republicans, if they're going to be, aiming for 60 Senate seats after 2024, they're going to need actual Republicans in them. And this is a perfect opportunity for a pickup of an actual Republican in that Alaska Senate seat. And if they get that, the sky is the limit, because we need to be in these open seats or primaries. Like, this is the primary that could work because Murkowski's that bad. You need the best possible candidates, people that are not going to cave into the donors and special interests, and people that are going to fall in line with the true America First agenda. Tshibaka is that. Murkowski is a neoliberal Republican, and that's even being generous, so keep that in mind. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. And check out the website and merch store. The links are in the pinned comment. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.